What if people disregard everything they know about you, everything you've said to them, the things that they've observed about you? What if people treat you like you're you're a generic thing? And a great example, I think, of that is being in traffic. And most people's behavior are habit and impulses. Some people's behavior is all habit and impulses. And these are the kind of people that the military won't accept anymore. I know IQ has been debunked, but forget about the number, put in colors, put anything like that. But there is a percentage of humanity that can't predict the outcome of their actions. And so how do these people survive? If they do survive, it's habit impulse, always. Habit impulse is the only way these people can survive. Everyone is driving. It's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're bumper to bumper traffic. I've been at a standstill on a 4-lane freeway over and over and over again. And so back there was a turnoff. Like half the lanes went to the right. Well, one lane went right, one lane went left. So the lane going left is doing great. People are going 55 miles an hour. The lane going right is going 10 miles an hour. And I was noticing that a lot of people are leaving like 6 inches in between their bumpers. They're like conga lining. I don't like being that close to somebody. But I have like about a car length or so in front of me between the next car. And this person pulled their truck into that car length, so it wasn't big enough for their truck, but they were pulling a trailer. So they waited to the last minute, and the only gap they saw was mine. And if they didn't take that one opportunity, they'd have to go south and go a couple miles and turn around and then come north again. And so their impulse was, I'm going to pull my truck in, but they were pulling a trailer. So the lane they're in is going 55, 60 miles an hour. And he left his trailer. So people were like laying on their horns and swinging into the, off on the shoulder of the road. And this person's just like, well, what am I going to do? And so it's habit and impulse, and that's the best that person could do. I mean, they might not always do such a bonehead thing, but the fact that occurred to them and they actually did it, or like maybe it didn't even occur, the fact that they just followed their impulse, it's the best they could do. If you think of something that's so bad and think, well, I've only done that like 1 or 2 times in my whole life, it's still the best thing you've ever done. You could say, like, if it only happened twice in your life, you could say, like, well, I love the environment, but if twice in your life you've dumped a pickup truck of motor oil into a river, then no, you don't. Like, your best is way, way, way down here. And I used to get really angry where, when I had to work at 3 in the morning, and so what you do is you get to bed by about 7, fall asleep hopefully about 8, hopefully get some sleep without all the noises of the day and stuff like that, and make it to work, get up at 2 and make it to work by 3. And I did it for a really long time, and it was impossible for my friends and family to factor that in when trying to make plans with me. Literally impossible. I got off. You need to go to bed. Someone called me at 3 in the afternoon and said, you want to come over for dinner? And I'm like, well, it'd have to be really early because I have to be in bed around 7 because I have to work at 3. Dinner was at 9. And then they're like, do you want to have some beers and watch a movie? And I'm like, no, I wanted to be in bed like 2 hours ago. And they're like, what's that about? So I'd already told them. And then at dinner they said, well, what do you mean, what's that about? I said, I have to work at 3. And they're like, all right, we'll skip the beers and we'll watch a movie. So what they're thinking is, I just won't sleep. Like, and their idea is like, well, they've got some sleep. They don't understand. Well, you can just go to work and then sleep after work. Like, in their mind, they just couldn't wrap their head around the concept of like, no, like, you go to bed at midnight, wake up at 7, get to work by 8. I have to go to bed at 7, wake up at 2 to be at work at 3. So I'm doing the same thing you're doing. I have to do it at a different time, but it's the same schedule. You wake up, go to work. After work, you go eat dinner. That was hard for a lot of people to understand as well. I go eat dinner at like 10 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes, depending on which job I was working and what time I got off work. When I hurt my back, people would still say like, "Hey, can you come over and help me move this piano?" Or I'd be at their house like, "Hey, grab one end of this workbench." And I'm like, "I can't grab one end of that workbench." They're like, "Well, no, I'll grab the other side." Like, and so then the same people that would ask my help to move a table, they'd say like, "Hey, can you come over? Do you want to come over today and swim in the pool, or we're gonna go down to the river or something?" I'm like, "I can't. I'm stuck on my couch. I can't move. My back is completely out." And they're like, "Again?" And I'm like, no, it's still out." They're like, "That was a month ago." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's been 30 days of extreme pain and immobility, and I've been taking pills, and I've been trying the heat, trying the cold, doing all the things. Like, that's why I don't move a table. You can't risk. You wouldn't do anything if it meant that you couldn't function and like, this is not going to work too. Like, now I'm a month out of work. Like, so like moving your table, really quick because it's convenient. You got the other end. But here's the thing: they couldn't intellectualize it. They literally just couldn't. Like, they would know all about my hurt back. They would know that it might mean a month. They would know that anything might hurt my back and might mean a month of recuperation and having to take medication and painkillers and things like that, or muscle relaxants or whatever. And they know I'd hate it, and they know I'm suffering, but they couldn't connect the two. They couldn't connect. It was like, well, was it moving that table that hurt you? Like, in their mind, like, you could just move tables. Just like in other people's minds, like, oh no, you could stay up till midnight and still make it to work on time. Like, and because their mind, like, it's just kind of normal to go to work at 8. Like you could tell them you got to hurt back. You could tell them you have to work at 3. The other thing, having mental health issues. They're like, "How's it going?" And I'm like, it's been like a couple years, right? I'm in my bedroom. I've got all the blinds pulled down, and I'm just crying. I've been crying all day. And they're like, what are you depressed about? Because in their mind, it's been a couple years, man. Like, it's like, so there must be a reason. Like, like losing Aquila, like losing a friend, losing Mike or Aquila. Well, that makes you sad. Loss makes you sad. But, eventually as time goes on, you get over loss. It'd be the same thing if apples were making me sad. Like, eventually the apples are going to run out, or eventually you'd throw the apples out. That's not what happened. I didn't get sick because my dog died or my friend committed suicide. I'm sure that helped. But something happened in my brain, and my brain stopped working, and it stopped working for a real long time. And people just like, they're just kind of over it. They're like, well, you're not, I need furniture moved. I need friends to go to the river with. I need, so I need you to come over to eat dinner at 9 o'clock at night. And if they're not bad people, just like those people doing crazy shit in traffic aren't bad people, but like habit and impulse. They're used to inviting friends over for dinner, and 9 o'clock for them is a reasonable time for dinner. Going to bed around midnight or 1 in the morning is a reasonable time to go to bed. You shouldn't need to go to bed at 7 in the afternoon. There's no reason why you can't help lift up this piano. There's plenty of us to help lift. There's no reason to be have mental health issues for years. Like, it's just outside of their normal routines and their normal habits, and they're outside of intellectualizing their entire day. Like, they might do it for a little bit. They might go, oh, okay, yeah, seven's fine. But then it'll slip their mind, and they'll go back to, they look at their watch. Because I went over for dinner after explaining that I had to leave early. But once I was over there, they went back into the routine of like, hey, well, let's go hang out on the porch, let's go, hey, let's walk over to this new place. I want to show you this new place. And because in their mind, like, dinner is a long way off. Like, if all the time, if all their different friends work different hours of the day, they would then adjust, like, well, when are you accustomed to eating? Okay, let's eat then. And since, I'm used to eating later, I'm just going to have a snack or something like that. Or like, oh, I forgot you have a hurt back. Don't worry, I'll have, when so-and-so comes over, I'll have them help me move it. Because, like, they're not intellectualizing it as they're talking about it. They're kind of thinking ahead, like, hey, where should this table be? I mean, where do I want this piano? Or like, God, I'm not hungry yet. They're thinking about, well, themselves, but not in a bad way. Like, I think most people think about themselves all day long. So it's a huge amount of thinking just to come to the conclusion that most people are living habit and impulse, and most people are just doing the best they can. They're not bad people. They don't mean anything bad. Like that guy that did that goofy thing back in traffic, and he almost died. He almost caused an accident. Like, he came to a stop in the middle of a lane, or he stopped his truck and his trailer partially out of the lane, but his whole trailer was in the lane when cars coming behind him were going 55 miles an hour. Like, so, like, he's not a bad person. That's just the best he could do. His impulse told him, if I don't get into that one slot in traffic, I'm going to miss the exit. And I didn't want to get in traffic way back there because the traffic is going, in this lane, it's going 10 miles an hour. And I don't want to wait in a long, long line. And so, like, it's not good thinking, but it's impulsive thinking. And there's a percentage of humanity that can only think that way. And there's a huge amount of humanity that thinks that way quite often. And even the most high-functioning, intellectual, thoughtful people still get into their routine, still get into their head. They might think like, oh, I'll have dinner on the table by 6. But, as 5 comes around and they're not feeling any hunger pains, and it's not like they're like watching their watch constantly. It's not like they set an alarm. Like they go to their reset, their default, which is dinner about 9-ish is perfectly fine. So, a lot of thought. Well, I mean, I'm on a long drive. It helps to talk, but like watching people in traffic behave in such a way kind of also reminded me all the times that I couldn't seem to be heard by lots of people in my life, and some people in my life that I know are really smart. Those are the same people asking me to help them move a piano. Like, like if I haven't talked about my back hurting in 6 months, it's because I've been very, very careful with my back. And they don't see me early in the morning when I'm having trouble moving. They just assume like, well, he hasn't mentioned his back in 6 months, so maybe he's back on the list of people who could help me move a piano. As opposed to the last time I talked to him and he was down for a whole month and he couldn't work because he tried to lift something or move something and his back went out, or it could be anything. It could be coughing and hiccuping at the same time. In their mind, it stopped becoming a thing. Habit, impulse. If something happened 6 months ago, it's outside of their normal routine. They can stop factoring it in. And it's not like I was getting invited to dinners all the time. Like, if someone only invites me for dinner a couple times a year, they might get lucky and get me on my day off, or I might suggest my day off. But if they're like calling me last minute and it's my work day, like, it's been years and they haven't had to accommodate what I've explained to them. So, all right.